segment that, as you know, is a staple on this channel, and it's called Generic Wrestling Questions. Those of you that have seen my interviews before, that's where Geoff will be asked his favourite match, favourite pay-per-view card, such as Double or Nothing 2019, for example, his favourite wrestler's entrance theme, favourite tag team, and favourite wrestler. Basically, the questions I assume you're asked on social media or in other places. So now you'll have a place to be like, I've answered this. Please go watch this. So, what's your favorite match of all time?
Right, let's hope I can remember my answers because, of course, I've been giving this a lot of thoughts on. Right, favorite match? Yeah, no, this one. Yeah, it's well. I mean, there are so many great matches out there, and there's so many great matches I could technically choose. I'm gonna say it's been mentioned. It's been given as an example so many times. Yeah, Shawn Michaels and Undertaker WrestleMania 25, and I'm sorry, I feel like I'm talking for you because you normally ask people, don't you, why is that my favorite match? But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's basically that was the first match I remember. Yeah, I remember watching that. Yeah, actually live, actually with Ben and a few other university mates. This was after university, but yeah, I remember like watching it like live, so in the wee hours of the morning, and it being like edge of your seat sort of viewing. Case of like is the streak going to end? That's the reason really. Yeah, yeah. I just remember that was the first time, and was that the first time when maybe not when you had like the false finishes. It
It
just
was.
yeah.
It was sort of, in my opinion, I'd say it was sort of the first match that you definitely go, he could lose this here, sort of thing.
Yeah, that might be what it is. Yeah, because again, I feel like I went all over the place with my story earlier, but yeah. So at that point, yeah, so that's 2009. So yeah, at that point, I was my consumption of wrestling at the time was I forgot to yeah, I didn't mention this was literally it was through Power Slam magazine, that beloved, much missed. I mean, there's Inside the Ropes now, but yeah, Power Slam was it's tremendous. So yeah, so this was like first time in a while I'd actually seen. I think the first time I'd seen some wrestling for like a live match, live pay-per-view or
Hmm.
PLE. Yeah, so that was yeah, it was brilliant to watch, and and the other, of course, the success of the following years like rematch. That was, I mean, that was an excellent match too. But yeah, I think because of like being there in the moment, albeit like watching it was in Norwich at the time, on probably on no, it wasn't, it was live. It was yeah, just watching it around Ben's place, and just yeah, just caught up in the moment, really. Yeah.
That's really, really cool. What about your favorite overall pay-per-view card, my friend?
Right, yeah. Again, there's so many to choose. Probably gonna say, yeah, even though the match was WrestleMania 25, yeah, 25. I'm gonna say WrestleMania 30, possibly, because yeah, the way that the fans just really dictated that Brian Danielson became, because he wasn't even going to be on, was he not going to be on the card or certainly not in the
I
main
think
event?
he had a match against Sheamus, if memory serves.
Oh,
As in, I think they said the match he was going to have was going to be against Sheamus.
Oh, I see. So is it? Yeah, I see. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, I can remember that. No, that's good, Tom. So yeah, it was excellent to it was a great event. I mean, it was in that big, the big the Superdome, of course, and it'd been the 30th one. And actually, I did get to watch that not live in person, but live. I was actually back living with my parents briefly because the place I was living at the time had some some like well, I was getting home improvements, also some like damp needed to be
Ah,
sorted out. So actually, I was unemployed at the time as well, so God, it was all going on. So I literally was watching that live, at my parents' place, like wee hours of the morning, and then next day I needed to go and like sign on at the job centre. So I remember like just rolling out of bed like with about 4 hours sleep or whatever and getting myself down there and presenting like my book saying what I'd been doing that week to try and find a job and all this sort of stuff and just, trying to seem like barely awake. Um,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, that's right. And then watching that event, I just remember kept thinking, I'm really enjoying this. I'm just gonna enjoy this before having to worry about like being shattered the next day stuff.
I
And
understand what you're saying completely, my friend.
yeah, yeah,
What about just quickly
yeah.
Undertaker's streak? Every time everyone brings up 30,
Oh,
should
yeah.
Lesnar have beaten him?
No, that's the thing. That's right. So despite me saying that I'd say that's my favorite event, and no, I mean that's the thing, Tom. I can't. I haven't got a better answer to give, but I'll say probably 30 for the best of favorite pay-per-view. But but no, that's the thing exactly. I don't think the Undertaker streak should have ended. No, I couldn't believe that. I think I was like looking away, wincing when he got that third F5, and then when he got pinned, I was just like, what? I was like a bit like that guy in the front row, or like most people in the arena. Yeah, exactly. I was just like, oh yeah, I won't repeat what I probably said, but yeah, I was shocked. Yeah, yeah.
Fair enough, my
Yeah,
friend.
do you
What
feel like
about
yourself, Tom? So do you feel? I think you probably feel the same about the Undertaker streak.
Yeah, I'm definitely one of those people that he should have, if he was going to lose it.
Yeah,
And fair enough, we didn't know where his health was going to be and wrestling and his ability to wrestle. He should have lost it to Roman. I didn't mind Roman winning, but I didn't like Brock winning first, if that makes sense.
yeah, I know what you're saying because really, yeah, what was there to prove?
Hmm.
What and Brock, sorry, and Brock was already an established. Well, Roman Reigns kind of. No, no, at that point Roman wasn't, was he? No, he was still in the Shield. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think I probably agree with you though. But at the same time, I don't know. I think I would just like the streak to not be broken. Uh,
Oh, in my heart, let me re-emphasize. In
yeah,
my heart of hearts, he shouldn't have been beaten.
yeah.
But if he had to be beaten, is what I'm saying.
Ah, I see. Yes.
Like if because Taker's old school, like give back to the business and all that. He was going to be beaten one way or the other.
Right.
Roman should have beaten him, and that should have been it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I think I have to agree with you there, Tom. Yeah, that really makes a lot of
I'm
sense.
glad Punk didn't beat him the year before, otherwise that could have caused some problems.
Oh, right. Of course. Yeah. Yeah. Thinking about that, I think every time I watched one of those matches, I think I was always kind of, hoping maybe in some ways well, not every match, but like, yeah, I think with that Punk one in 29, yeah, I think, yeah, 'cause I'm a big fan of CM Punk. I think I was hoping that he'd win, but I think it'd be a case of like where, one of those things in life where I can't think of an example, but where you're excited that the chance something could happen. You kind of want it to, but as soon as it happens, you're going to be like, oh no, no, that sense of loss. Because
Mm.
again, when the streak got broken, it's like, well, yeah, it's no longer a thing. Yeah.
No, I get what you're saying completely there. And then what about your favorite wrestler's entrance theme, Jeff?
Right, okay, I'll try not to ramble so much with this, but right, so I've got technically, oh, there's so many great songs, so many themes. I'll give two if I may. First one is this has never been picked on your show, as far as I remember. I'm going to say Jake Roberts' original WWF theme.
Oh
I think that's a
wow.
great song. And actually, I was able to well, I basically just reached out to Jim Johnston like God, was it a year ago. I basically was just just curious just to ask him like about because I'm interested in music production. I wanted to like know how he created that song, for instance, because it's got such an interesting sound. It's immersive. It's a lot of echo in it, and it doesn't sound overly produced, but
Mm.
that's in the nicest way possible. It's a great bit of music, and it was and yeah, and he basically revealed that that song was something he came up with himself, and that Vince happened to like it, and then used it for for Jake's entrance. Because I did know that it was actually. Did you maybe you knew this, Tom? That music was actually used on a home video, on
I
the
didn't
Coliseum
know.
when Hulk Hogan was doing like a gym routine thing. I remember seeing that as a kid. That was another tape I think.
Oh,
Yeah, it
yeah. I
was
have
used for
seen that
that.
actually.
Yeah, and I didn't know like what the chronology was of that, but because it could have been that maybe Jake was using that as a theme then, and it just happened to also be used, or but yeah, it was a bit of music that Jim had come up with I think a couple of years beforehand, and he told me like he used like a very early piece of like music software, which just kind of blew my mind, because I'm interested in that sort of thing, and yeah, that was really interesting to hear that, and yeah, the other thing basically I'd asked him was that because I was listening to some of his other songs, I was thinking I was pretty sure he had a particular keyboard that I was lucky to get myself, and an old bit of kit, same age as me, and he basically confirmed that yeah, he had the same keyboard back in the day, and I was thinking I thought you did, but I wasn't. Yeah, and the other song I'd say, the other theme would be the Great Muta's 1996 theme, his
Oh, really?
JPW, that great fusion of like sort of East and Western like sounds. So it's a little bit techno-y, I guess, but got those like the koto, is it koto, the Japanese instruments as well. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's a great bit of music, really uplifting. Yeah.
that's really, really cool. What about your favorite tag team?
Right, tag team, yeah. I think I'm gonna say I'm gonna give a historic one, I think, if okay, and then a current, yeah, current one.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I'd say yeah, I think Heart Foundation, I think, for historic team. I mean the Bulldogs, the British Bulldogs, of course, as well. But recent, well, so, yeah, so relatively recent, probably the Shield, really. I loved their like their matches. They were just I think they were like groundbreaking at the time, the way that all three of them would be involved in a match. And again, even though I haven't seen much of FTW, sorry, of AEW, I've just given it away. I haven't seen much of AEW in recent times. I mean, FTR, what I've seen of them, I mean, they're
Yeah,
yeah, they're like this generation's like four horsemen, aren't they? So I mean, I could say them for there were so many great teams at the time, yeah, yeah. I'll probably just say yeah, Shield for current tag, well, more recent times, and Heart Foundation, I think, if that's yeah, we'll say that, yeah.
that's really, really cool. And then finally, Jeff, the biggest generic question, in my opinion. Who is your favorite overall wrestler of all time?
Right, okay, well, not influenced by Ben because work on his shows, but I think historically it's got to be Bret Hart, yeah, I think, and got the yeah, I would say the pleasure, though it was an incredibly stressful day. I did get the pleasure of meeting Bret Hart. It was Clash at the just before Clash at the Castle. The same day there was like this terribly organized fan fest thing
This
in
weren't
us.
the thing that Andrew Pollard chaired, was it?
No, oh God, no, no, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't say that if if he was involved. No, no, that was no. This was a thing called WrestleFest, and it was held in like a sweaty old nightclub in Cardiff. Queues out the door, but I mean that's partly because of the popularity of it, but also just because of oh, I think it's badly managed, basically. But I think it was where Tyson Fury was there too, and apparently maybe was he a bit late, which might have had an impact. I'm not saying I could have done a better job organizing it, but it just wasn't a great overall experience of, because I mean, God, this was the first time I think I'd done any well significant travel since like lockdown and all this and
Yeah.
stuff. And I'm going to a big event and all this. Yeah, I sound like I'm a little kid, don't I? But yeah, it was a big. I remember it was like I was looking forward to the whole thing, but at the same time, just wanted it to go well. So anyway, yeah, just and then getting to meet Brett, it was such a quick experience. It's just a case of like just going there, sit down. I kind of need to get like the picture up, I suppose, on the wall or something. But I wasn't in the best shape back then, and I looked like I was trying to get comfortable as well, which I kind of was. So it was kind of one of those things, really. But yeah, so it was great to meet him and things, and just say how much I appreciate his career and all that, and yeah, and got yeah, got like a signed photo. Current day, I'd say, yeah, CM Punk or Seth, or also like, Karrion Cross. I'd say I hope that he's gonna get, I hope he gets like to get to like the main event. I know he's like, more of like a heel and everything, but he's a cool heel too, and I just hope he does
Yeah.
get the recognition he deserves because he's so creative. He puts a lot of effort into everything, and yeah. Oh, and maybe a little shout out to the first ever Wrestling Life guest, great British wrestler called Nathan Cruz. I hope to go see
Ooh.
him wrestle sometime. He's wrestling soon, actually. Well, I think it's tomorrow technically, but in Norwich. But right now, I'm not able to really go out and, you know, it's a bit of a little bit of a distance to get to. But also, right now, I'm just trying to tighten the belt a little bit. But I'm hoping to get to go and, see, support him and some of the others like local stars. That'd be well, British stars at least. But yeah, anyway, yeah.
That's really, really cool, my friend.